We conducted a research with the reason to solve and answer our questions. What is something that affects students? As students ourselves, what do we encounter that is almost common to every single one of us?
Daily attendance as a factor in the academic performance of grade 12 STEM 1A to 4A academic year 2019 to 2020.
Our research title is about engaging students to attend their class regularly. There is a high correlation between school attendance and academic performance and success. While absence from school is often the greatest single cause of poor performance in academics because it is one of the most basic part that students can do. Daily attendance is one of the proof that the students are willing to cooperate in a class because some of the students has a low comprehension but they are always present. It's because they are willing to learn, and attendance is important when it's called to a job so that while they are still students, they need to practice their daily attendance.
Rising from different fields. We conduct this study to help ourselves understand the impact of attendance and academic performance. We choose this problem research for us as students to know how it can affect or help our academic performance by attending class regularly or irregularly, and also for us to know the reason of chronic absenteeism.
To develop the student so they can be a good example to the next generation. They may not be the perfect example, but they will always be an inspiration for us and for our dreams.
As researchers, we needed to have supporting information regarding our study.
Yes, because these topics are broad and are needed to be narrowed down. Fortresses needed foundation to stand, as well as buildings. Our research is our foundation of what we have learned and what type of learnings and its importance we have collected. To fully understand its essence, we have a number of background that we have gathered during the whole process.
As a researcher, the thing that motivated us to pursue this research is a respondent who experienced this kind of scenario. Without them, we cannot formulate questions and answers about their problems in terms of academic performance. With their help, we discovered that there's a lot of factors why we students have failing grades. One of it is staying up at late nights since students miss their classes because lack of sleep that causes their absences that has huge effect in academic performance. Being fully aware of the things, we decided to look for an answer because we ourselves found a motivation on how and we should pursue this study.
Significance of the study. Students can expand their knowledge and enhance their skills when they attend school consistently. Attending school is important because it helps you to develop a sense of responsibilities for yourself. And it also a sign of a good character. And it leads you to a better achievement because you attend the whole of your classes. Parents may be able to guide their sons and daughters to fulfill the dreams they have with parents standing by their side. So they are always motivated in attending their classes, and they can also influence their child's social skills directly or indirectly through management by their child's activities. Teachers may understand towards the different reasons students have, and they undergo so they can perform better in class. There are a lot of people and sectors that is deemed too significant to this study because they played a role on how we, the researcher, can properly get the needed data. It is a cycle of giving what is asked and getting what is needed.
Quantity is a type of variable that is reliable.
And considering that fact, we researchers have different methodologies to follow. Methods are performed to build the perfect outcome. Methods are prepared to help foundations be built with proper ease. So with this research, we need to follow rules and perform methods to come up with the best outcome we can seek to find.
Research that we've made since we conducted for the first semester
which entitled The Daily Attendance as a Factor in the Academic Performance of 12 STEM 1A to 4A, school year 2019-2020, has a research design of quantitative method. The research design is an approach used to solve the research problem. It is used to structure the research to show how all the major parts of the research project work together. Aside from that, this is also a colorational research. It is a type of non-experimental research wherein the two variables are measured.
We use questionnaires as an instrument in obtaining data. We conducted surveys, made some questions, presented a letter to the principal for the conduct of the whole process, in order to know the factors of academic performance. Having the chosen respondents, answer them to cover the gap we have in our research paper.
In the survey that we presented, it has 1 to 5 scale where each scale has an equivalent of mean value and descriptive equivalent. This formula is used to gather the data needed for the research where the value M means weighted mean, W means weighted, and N is the total number of respondents. Here, the average weighted mean table that help us to determine the impact of attendance to the academic performance of 12 STEM 1A to 4A. In overall, we have the total of 140 respondents. But first, to determine the average mean and weighted mean, let's do the first statement as an example. For the average mean, just multiply the total number of respondents who answered to the particular scale, just like 89 times 5, 35 times 4, 15 times 3, 0 times 2, 1 times 1, and add all of that to get the average mean. While the weighted mean, just simply divide the average mean to the total number of respondents, and each value has an equivalent of mean value and descriptive equivalent.
The researchers conducted a study inside of Inma University of Pangasinan entitled The Daily Attendance as a Factor in the Academic Performance of Grade 12 STEM 1A to 4A, School Year 2019-2020. Their study was conducted in the first semester of the academic year of 2019-2020 from June 2019 to October 2019. Due to high population of senior high school students, the researchers have decided to choose the respondents, and the chosen respondents were from 12 STEM 1A to 4A. On the other hand, the researchers had used the cluster sampling method to determine the respondents.
We live in a world where society is a powerful weapon.
This helps us to further explain why we think this study is important. Society will come to judge you in certain ways, but their judgment will also help you become a better researcher.
As researchers, we had outcomes that turned out to be unexpected of this research process.
Our study can have a big impact on our society. Why? Because our study could serve as an eye-opener to those students who are prone to absenteeism. I believe that attendance definitely matters in our courses. The daily attendance is important to those students who are more likely to succeed in academics when they attend to school consistently. If the student had missed a lot of lessons in their class because of absenteeism, it could affect their grades due to lack of knowledge. School attendance is the baseline factor of determining student success.
Research entitled The Daily Attendance as a Factor in the Academic Performance of 12 STEM 1A to 4A, school year 2019-2020, can help people, especially students, for them to gain an information about how attendance can affect their academic performance. Aside from that, it may also enlighten the mind of everyone to the positive and negative impacts of the attending classes on their academic performance in school.
Attendance rate is important because students are more likely to succeed in academics when they attend school consistently. Attending class regularly helps the student to share his or her knowledge on what they've learned in the class. Through this study, we can encourage students like us to be involved in every activities in class, which may help them to boost their confidence and to enhance their own skills and to improve their comprehensive skills that they can use in the near future. Learning new things in attending classes is not just limited. It helps the student to be more responsible.
School is our second home. We don't just learn academically, but also we can adopt good attitude and right conduct.
The researchers found out that conducting a research is a task made for a group. Ever since a research title is to be formulated, we needed to have the best of ideas, especially the research task or idea is anything under the sun. We had difficulties, but we still had the best possible problem we could think of. The procedures done during the whole semester served as both a pain and a lesson. Why a pain? Because almost every time it was on the way of how our schedules work, and the researchers always need to adjust their time to multitask during certain periods. But we learned a lesson. It is to think ahead on what is in front of us, and as researchers, we needed to always properly manage the time of the things we needed to do. The chapter 5 presented the conclusion, and in the paper, certain phrases are stated. Attendance won't leave any scar, but it can heal wounds. Researchers also need this proper etiquette during the research process. We need the full attendance and participation of everyone. Same to the students for them to learn. They need to have a mindset dedicated on completing their attendance at school. Attendance is a crucial factor for everyone, not just because of the grades, but the lessons it can put inside every student's hearts and mind. Teachers are modern heroes. We are aware that teachers are ours said to be second parents, and they will guide us to the fortune of success that we wanted. An immovable object. Circumstances are occurring naturally, and it can be avoided. Because of these things, hindrances are also a thing when it comes to attendance. So the students are also experiencing these things. Things always stop our dreams, and it is up to us to deal with them. These things are temporary, and if you will to fulfill the dreams you have, you will be unstoppable. What the future holds. Thinking one step ahead is almost a mentality that is a must for students. If you want to become a successful student, having a scheduled plan and alternatives will help you in the future studies. Your future is what you wish to be a treasure. You can obtain for it is a progress that all of us want to finish and to happily live in life. Grades won't define you. Students nowadays dream of having a high grade so that they can get the satisfaction they wanted. But it is not an advisable mentality. Sure, it will provide you an impression, but not all of our personality will reflect on you.
Based on the findings of this study, various recommendations can be suggested. The students must need to know the importance of their daily attendance because they are more likely to succeed in academic when they attend school consistently. The teachers should give emphasis on students' absenteeism in their classes and motivate the students for a better and progressive outcome. The parents' guidance significantly impacts the students' academic performance. Parents should do necessary measures to make sure that their children attend school regularly. The school administrators should provide needs of students and to let the students know the importance of attendance in school. For future researchers, continue and expand this research in order to attain a lot of information to be done when you conduct a study again, and let the others know the importance of this study.
Overall, this research for us is a success from our chapter 1 to 5. Problems sure are a thing, but through the help of everyone, we got everything on a plate ready to be served for the next researchers because of the accomplishments we have made and the lessons learned. Thank you. This is the Group 2 of 12 ABM 5A with the research entitled Daily Attendance as a Factor in the Academic Performance of Grade 12 STEM 1A to 4A.
Thank you. We hope you learned something from this video defense presentation.
The motivation of this study is first us. The researchers wanted to look for new openings to open up new possibilities for ourselves. We needed to make a way to bridge the gap between our consciousness and reality. We wanted to learn more, experience more, and to do more. Things that will inspire others by conducting this study.
The scope of the study is based on the area and population that we have covered. We conducted the study inside of FINMA University of Pangasinan during 2019 to October 2019. We were limited to 4 clusters in the grade 12, specifically 1A to 4A, and so that we can arrive at the best reliable data that we can possibly have.
Research questions are important because they are used as the primary tools to come up with what data we wanted. These questions are the ultimate guide for us to have a brighter look on what is ahead of us for the aims of our research.
The first is by Mizell and the second was by Trochim. Mizell elaborated the importance of education to the young people and showed the good effect of education to students. Trochim elaborated the importance of a research study and how well it can affect a certain research paper. These sources helped us because with simple words they had to offer, it had an impact on what we, the researchers, can foresee. They properly managed to deliver a message that can help accomplish topics that is related to our study.
Our methodology research is a quantitative research. By correlational research, we manage to accomplish what is needed. We choose quantitative research because our research required specific numerical data and statistic treatment that it needs. Correlational research was chosen because it can be used to measure two variables that included in the research.
We use survey method as our primary instrument of measurement.
Your findings. We found out that the majority of students in the STEM strand according to their age, gender, average, and academic performance, as well as the impact of attendance in the academic performance of students, because it was concluded that attendance has a significant impact on the students of University of Pangasinan. All in all, this is a positive outcome because we have discovered that the academic performance is a still performance considered at school.
The uniqueness that can be found into our research paper is the data we gathered and the positivity and efforts exerted by our group. Not all the data we have are also the same as other research paper. The last thing that is unique is how our research paper was put together, how is it managed, how it ended up the way it is.
Part of our study is a rejection of our null hypothesis because they show that our study has a positive outcome. The weakest is the fact that attendance wasn't properly managed because the uneven distribution of statistical data gathered.
Students, teachers, school administrators, and other parts of society to consider the factor we gathered as helpful data that will help them in their daily lives and decisions. For the future researchers, we wanted them to inspire and create a colorful and new meaningful context with the guide of this research to develop what we accomplish.
Of our study is it can open the eyes of young generation to help them see what is important than other things, like proper time management is advisable on whatever type person you are. It is important to every rational being in this society. For them, consider what part does attendance play in academic performance.
Chronic absenteeism as a factor or a rule that play a role in affecting academic performance. To widen a research topic and to get more but reliable data.
I personally think that we lack coordination and consultation. There are parts where we didn't consider anyone else's opinion and went straight for what we think is needed. We didn't have the patience to search more or collect more data, also because of the lack of time that were provided. We didn't apply the lessons we have learned from our own data, which also affected us during the whole conduct of this research.